Shalom Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Kakadash, that honors the apostles and those who great Muslim for teaching us his truth, peace, and blessings to the whole collective Israel, and Shalom. Yahweh is the name of the Honey Fallen in Hebrew, by Hashem means the name, and Yahweh Shai is the name of the begotten Son. Bible lesson, and today, going to go into how Yahweh by Hashem and Shai use these animals as a form of judgment, especially coming to the last days. These, animals are going to change their places, as well as newly created beasts are going to be showing themselves, man. Things that you would thought to be only myths or heard in stories or in sci-fi type movies are about to be real, which we're going to dive into. So this quick video right here that I saw, which kind of prompted me to want to dive into this lesson, because you see many cases and news articles and videos coming out of these bear attacks, as well as these just different animals straight up attacking people, man. Taking, children away and all that stuff, man.
What's up, TikTok? Back with another video again. Right here in this video, they said a man was attacked by a bear. Hey, y'all know what that means, right? When he got attacked by that bear, I think that was his supper. What's
Look at that.
up, TikTok? Back with another video again. Right here in this video.
So Yahweh Bashim Shai is not playing, man. And you can see other videos, especially of bears, bringing to people's actual houses, opening doors, and putting their whole body weight on these doors, just, completely just destroying it, man. So, hey, Yahweh Bashim Shai is not playing, and this is the type of judgment that Yahweh Bashim Shai is about to unleash upon this place, as you were already seeing, But it's only going to increase and get even worse as we progress later into these end days. Especially these newly created beasts, as scripts go into Wisdom of Solomon, are going to be, showing themselves, man. See what these comments have to say. It says a bear question mark, and let's see. That was a customized Jurassic Park vehicle, and initially was like very good. So it looks fake, but an actual bear just tore up that car, man. And hey, that's metal right there, man. Let's see what else. So that's no bear, that's a Wendigo. That loads. People making jokes and stuff, but hey, this is serious, man. Yeah. Let's dive into scriptures. A few scriptures that came to mind. Matthew 24 and 21, and we'll see what that is real quick after that. But it says, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. So, going to show that we're heading some times that have never been seen before in history, especially with all the things that are going to be happening and going on, especially in these last days, and it's going to be like no other, man. Times like no other. And people say it was like a Wendigo. Some stuff like this. The script's also going to tell you, people's worst nightmares are going to be, coming to life, man. Yahweh Bashim Shai is going to unleash judgment upon this place, man. Especially those that don't repent and take heed will be caught up in the midst of this stuff, man. Lord's not playing. Which I kind of made a similar lesson a while back, going into these newly created beasts, going to these wolf-like creatures that you would see in these movies are actually real, and people caught them on camera and having stories about them and all that stuff, man. Ecclesiastes 39:28 through 31. So like I said, and like I mentioned, you're going to have many of these things that you would think to be were fake, or that you thought were myths, or you thought you would only see in these sci-fi like type movies are actually real. But now let's get verse 28 to go into that main point of the lesson, how Yahweh Bashim Shai use these animals as a form of judgment, as well as these different storms, which you're about to see right here. Now it says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of the destruction they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. And there's also one other recent video. You have other, this is I believe one person was in I believe a cage, and he had a shark basically in there with them. But you also have multiple accounts of people getting attacked by these different animals, sharks, by foxes and raccoons and all that stuff, man. Hey, that's the work of the Lord, man. And it goes to show that these animals do not like you Edomites, you heathens, man. Read from the top one more time. It says, there be spirits that crave for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of the destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them, so they do what the Lord sent out to do. Verse 29. And once again, these are judgments from the Lord. Now, verse 29. Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Seeing all these different storms and, taking people out, destroying people's homes and cars and all that stuff, man. Judgment from the Lord. Especially that famine that you see brewing now. Now let's continue on. Verse 30, one of the main points. Now it says, teeth of wild beasts. And you'll see multiple videos of, cougar attacks, bears, and many other creatures, man. Attacking, killing people. You even had elephants, man, stomping and trampling people down, man. There's one lesson I made a while back. I believe probably last year. Going to this elephant that trampled this one woman. Then they were holding a funeral. You had the elephant herd. Yeah, went to that funeral and basically trashed it, man. Tossed up the body in the air. It's a judgment from the Lord. Now, see the wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction, especially coming to these last days, man. The Lord's going to be using these animals to tear up a lot of people, man. Especially these newly created beasts. These creatures that you haven't even seen before. These creatures that are hiding themselves in the woods and all that stuff, man. They're going to come out and start attacking people, man. Because another script that came to mind. The beast of the field shall be at peace with you. See if I can get this real quick. Let's see. There we go. This is Job 5:23. It's finished off Ecclesiastes, if I didn't get that yet. Now it says, teeth of wild beasts and scorpions and serpents and the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth. When need is, and when the time is come, they shall not transgress his word. So they're going to accomplish what the Lord sent out to do. Now let's go back to Job 5:23. Now it says, for thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field. So you're going to have the elect men protected and defended in these last days, man. However the Lord may do it, may use these animals to do it, where you may be being chased by these devils, trying to track you down, and let's say a bear just comes out and starts attacking people. These other creatures starts attacking them, defending you, giving you time to run away. Whatever the case may be, this type of miracles the Lord should perform, man. Whether you believe it or not, but it says, for thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. There you go. So your elect are going to be protected and defended in the midst of all this chaos that's getting ready to erupt, man. Times like no others. Wisdom Psalm 11:17 through 19. Now, to add on to that point, I was mentioning these newly created beasts. Now it says, for thy almighty hand that had made the world of matter without form, one did not mean to send among them a multitude of bears or fierce lions. Now watch this, 18. Or unknown wild beasts, creatures that you haven't even seen before, man. Once again, as I mentioned, there's multiple accounts and stories and news articles going to these creatures that were seen in the woods, or just a nasty smell to deter people away from going into the woods and from really finding out what's really in there. And ultimately, Yahweh Shai, keeping and hiding these creatures away, and will be once again using them in these last days in order to wreak havoc upon this place, and as well as to defend and protect his men. Things that you would see in movies, man, where you would see the protagonist, the main character or an anime being chased, and you'll have these creatures will just come out, or these different animals start attacking these people, holding them up, giving them time to run. This type of things that you're about to see, man. Hey, this is real. Verse 18 says, or an wild beast full of rage, newly created. There you go. It says, breathing out either a fiery vapor or filthy scent, or scattered smoke, or shooting horrible sparkles out their eyes. And as Scripts also mentioned, how we've seen a spark of Yahweh Bashem Shai's work. We only seen a small spark of that fire, man. We have seen nothing yet, man. Verse 19 it said, whereof not only the harm might dispatch them at once, but also the terrible sight utterly destroy them. People will be dying at the sight of these creatures, man. These so-called, cryptids. Let's actually get that real quick. These so-called, mythical creatures. Let's see, cryptids. Just, things like this. Not saying there's exactly creatures like this, but this is an example of the type of creatures the Lord's gonna send out, man. Let's get images. Tales of cryptids, mysterious creatures, Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster. Even when you look into the ocean, the sea, not even 10% has been explored, man. Once you give them little examples, the type of creatures that be coming out, werewolf-like creatures and all that stuff, man. Let's get a couple more scriptures, and we'll close it out from there. 2nd Ezra 5:8, and the Lord said, final lesson. Now it says, there shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be off, sent out again. And the wild beasts shall change their places. Why you're especially seeing many of these different creatures are in cities and close to civilization, especially because these devils are destroying all the habitats and the natural course and the way of things, man. These animals don't really have a place to stay, so once you see them changing place, and how Bash tries to be using them to attack people, man. I've used this one video that came out of this tiger just roaming around town or the city. Come on, man. There should be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be off, sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. Now look at these last three, and we'll close it out from there. Isaiah 29:6. Now to kind of add on to those storms that also Yahweh Shai will send out to judge people, to judge this place in general, which you're especially seeing over there, comes to the year 2023, California being hit with a terrible flood, and getting bombarded by rain. Let's actually get that real quick. California. I believe I saw this article that's going to like trillions of gallons of water is going to be dumped on California. Is how much it's going to rain over there, man. The news. The dangers of life property remain high in California as storm onslaught continues. California storm cuts power to 500,000 people. Look at that, man. Yeah, how Shemel Shai is judging this earth, and these storms, once again, are another example or another form of Yahweh Shai's judgments, man. So, example. Now, let's get, I don't think I finished this. Isaiah 29:6. That should be visited of Yahweh Shai of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. There we go. As we just read in Ecclesiasticus, how Yahweh Shai uses fire, hail, and famine as forms of judgments, man, as well as these teeth of wild beasts, these animals, man. But now let's call out these last two, Deuteronomy 32 and 39, to go into how Yahweh Shai is bringing out the judgment and how it's by the way of the Lord. As the Lord's doing, meant to say. Deuteronomy 32 and 39. Now it says, see now that I, even I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive, I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So showing you this is the work of the Heavenly Father, of Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, as the Lord is doing. Because you have many people that will come out and say, why isn't the Lord stopping this? Why is the Lord not doing anything about it? Because this is of the Lord, man. This is his doing. But now let's close out with Hebrews 10:31, to go into how it's a fearful thing to fall in the hands of the living God, which is right here. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God, or the living power. You got to fear Yahweh by Shema Shai, especially in the times that we are in and are coming into. You're going to see crazy things start to happen, man. As it is written, Matthew 24 and 21. How we're heading some times that have never been seen before in history. 2 Timothy 3 and 1. Jeremiah 37. We're in some very evil and scary times, and those that don't repent and take heed will be caught up in the midst of this judgment, these plagues, these pests, the Lord is sent out upon this place, as you're already seeing now, man. Especially when you start seeing these newly created beasts start showing themselves and attacking people, But pretty much the main point already. Just make a quick lesson, go into this video that I saw of this bear attack. Just driving his claws into his car. And also this follow-up video.
Yeah, a bear. How many times I gotta tell y'all? It was a bear. For real. No making this up, bro. That what the news reporter had typed in on the documents when they canceled y'all. It ain't hit local news, but it was a bear. Yeah, a bear.
So we reached the main point already. Hope and pray you were edified and Lord get the point across. I do want to give all praises. All glory to Yahweh B'Shem HaShai, B'Shem HaKadosh, the body of the apostles, and else great millstone for teaching this truth. Peace and blessings to the hopeful like of Israel, and shalom. Thanks, Lord willing.